My name is Ajibola Bamidele. I have in the house today Mr. Stefan, he's the author of 29 books, that's a lot. And we'll be looking into the eroded values of our today Nigerian youth, and we're trying to see is it a failed project to change the eroded values, or is there something we can begin to do now to make to reposition or to rebuild those values in our Nigerian youth for a better tomorrow? So we want to know whether there's things we need to do to make sure Nigerian youths are better off and they can actually contribute to better sustainability within in Nigeria, actually better sustainability in Nigeria. So, Mr. Sliban, what's your opinion about these things that we see in the rural youth value system in Nigerian youths?
Well, thank you. I think the first thing we need to first of all ask is, what's the cost? Why do we have these eroded values? Why is it our youths are not in line with universal laws anymore? Because if we don't talk about the reasons, the causes, we're just going to be talking about the effects without going to what's causing this thing. And you see, we could list a whole lot of things, but I think above all the reasons why our youths how what we had today, treading the path we're treading, I think two things can always be looked at. The reward system of the society itself. Youths pursue what the society rewards.
Okay, so we're talking about what the society rewards.
Yes.
Can you expatiate on that?
Because you see, for example, if the society rewards hard work, if the world, of the environment we live in, if it rewards hard work, then everybody wants to be hardworking because that's where you get a reward. But if the society rewards quick fix, if the society rewards lack of morals, nobody cares how you got the money, the most important thing is you're rich. If society values ethics above wealth, if society values helping people above selfishness, then the reward system of society generates what people start doing. But if you have a system where if a youth is hardworking and he looks at the next person who is not hardworking and the person is, in quote, successful.
So you're trying to say we're a product of
our environment. Exactly. Exactly. Because if you're not rewarding what you want, it's psychology. You're not going to get it. So for me, I think, first of all, we need to go back and check what does this society, what does it reward? And then begin to look at the reward system and start thinking of how we can change it. Now, the second thing I think is, and which I think is the biggest of all, it's not even the reward system alone. Mr. Jibola, parenting is dead. Parenting is dead. We have parents, but parenting is dead. And you see, once the home, because they say charity begins at home, once the home is dysfunctional, we're going to create dysfunctional youth into the society. Because parents are the first authority over a child.
So when you say parenting is dead, is it that parents have been buried, or what exactly?
The philosophy of parenting is dead. I don't know how you grew, but the way I grew, I'm almost a result of the parenting that I had. We become, but you see, in a society where parents are no longer available, parents are not involved in their children. I'll give you a case in point. I work a lot with schools, with a lot of schools, and we had a big problem sometimes last year in one of the schools I work with. And what was the problem? Parents who would not do homework, parents who would not be there with their kids began to compete on party packs and cake on their children's birthday. A 2-year-old is having a birthday and you see parents coming in with 7 layers of cake, bringing party packs, and there's rather than focus on the child's development, and they began to compete.
What don't you think is the environment, in the sense that parents need to work hard, they need to earn money, they need to live well, they need to even be able to feed these children and send them to good schools. So, don't you think it's not the parents' fault? It's the environment, it's the nation, it's the economy. We live in homes now that a parent, the father alone, his earnings cannot take care of the family anymore.
So we have
So you see,
both
both parents need to go to work, every day, make money, and pay the bills. So I don't think, do you truly think it's the parents' fault or was the environment, the economy that's causing this?
I want to give you case in points and not just talk about blaming people. When you go pick your child in school, you're there to pick your child. And you're picking your child who's in primary 3 and another one in primary 5. And you, as the father, carry your children's bags and your children are marching behind you with nothing and jump. And how do you explain that? You're there, but yet you cannot make your children responsible to carry their bags. They are not in nursery, they are not handicaps. Yet you excuse them from being responsible for their own bags. As simple as that. I have parents who don't know the name of their child's class teacher. As simple as that. And you see, when you talk about having time for your kids, it is not the quantity of time, it's the quality of the time. I have parents who are men who are at home and their kids are in the house and the man is watching Arsenal versus Man U. He's spending 1.5 hours watching football and leaving his kids. Is that the economy? Mr. Jubala, it is total irresponsibility. And you cannot expect the society or the teachers in the school to raise your own children if you are not the primary responsible factor in their lives. Case in point, you get home, no matter how much you get home, you find it difficult to pray with your children. Case in point, you have house helps bathing your girls and you're complaining of sex, child abuse, sex molestation. See, we've lost it. I agree with you. There are a lot of challenges, but this is not the first time in the history of mankind that people have faced challenges and they've surmounted it. Don't forget that if you go back to history, men used to go to war. Men will be at war for months, and you're going to have just a mother at home. You're going to have men who are working on agri farms, hectares of land with 11 children. We don't even have that number of children anymore now. We have few children, but we're just irresponsible. It is not the society that has taken us away from our children. We have just become irresponsible.
Okay, so going back to the subject of this course, there's something trending now about Big Brother.
Big what?
Big Brother.
Oh,
Big Brother and,
pepper them, right?
And
Pepper them.
Yesterday, somebody won, and the person, and it's me. So I had this conversation with a couple of youth, and everybody is just waiting for the next Big Brother, and they want to die to make the house. Since the society, corporate bodies, the focus society is rewarding Big Brother. So schools are competing for knowledge. What do you call this? They're doing competitions, and the children that are doing well in the sciences are being rewarded 2,000 naira.
Yet you're going to be on a reality show.
And if you're there, if you're a Big Brother, you're getting 30 million. And this actually the salary of someone that will work for 5 years aggressively, going to work 3 to 5 days, and somebody could earn 30 days. So how do we sell to our current youth that there's value for hard work? Or how do we sell for them to commit to process, commit to hard work, since the corporate bodies, since the society, since everybody wants to be clapped for? And people watch the number of viewers, the number of engagement that, when it comes to Big Brother Africa, it's so different from, so if you want to be in the spotlight, it's almost obvious that you must do Big Brother. If you want everybody to talk about you, you must do Big Brother. So no matter the good things you're doing that is not in line with Big Brother, will not be rewarded. So how do we change our youth perception? Our talents are working to focus on their work, to focus on their schooling, and not to focus on Big Brother. This is major concern. So what do you think we can do about this?
I hope you know that what we are discussing right now, it's not popular. You're going to have people say, well, it doesn't matter because we're in an environment where we don't care anymore. And if we start talking about Big Brother and all the nonsense around it, because as far as I'm concerned, now that's my own philosophy, it's absolute nonsense. practical nonsense when you have the future of this country, because the youth are the future of Nigeria. If the youth, 25-year-old girls in a house, and they're having sex, and it's aired on TV, and the youths are watching, and the corporate bodies with social irresponsibility putting money behind that, we're in trouble. Our future is at stake. As a matter of fact, I would almost say that we are doomed. I've had this, and I don't watch it, but I get the feel. I've had Big Brother Africa, people say, well, there are church girls in court who go there and have sex right on TV. We're in trouble. The morals are dead. They're just dead. And you'll be surprised that the parents of these people are watching. They are clamoring for people to vote for their kids. So you can see what the society is rewarding. And that's why it's difficult. But here's the cost. Here's the clause. How many people out of the millions of youths will be on that show? It's a gamble. And you cannot live your life on gamble. As a matter of fact, the universe aborts anyone who tries to abort nature's process. Whether we like it or not, the number of people who would win Big Brother in comparison with the number of youths we have in this country is absolutely insignificant.
Yeah, because there's only one Big Brother every year.
So you're going to wait for the next year. So what's you going to be doing? You're going to be stealing or prostituting before the next one? Is that what you're going to be doing? And there's no chance that even if you make the show, you're going to be the one to get the money. Do you understand? So you can see where money is going. Money is going into eroded values. So that's why even if I can make Big Brother, I go do Yahoo Yahoo. 2 weeks ago in Lautech, if you read the news, about 28 undergraduates were arrested by EFCC. And that's how it's going on in so many universities. So the ones that cannot make Big Brother, that is just one of the things they do. Those ones are doing Yahoo Yahoo.
But Mr. Smith, have you heard about the current trend of if you want to be attractive, if you want to win Big Brother, if you want to win lives, you must fix bum bum. You know, you must do something, you must have a big bum bum. And you see, you can see the trend all around now that people, the person that won Big Brother, actually, the news is all around that the person actually didn't have the bum bum. The person had to do a surgery. So if probably people that do that and don't keep it secret are the ones leading the youth, so how do we tell our kids not to fix bum bum? How do we tell our kids not to desire to do the forbidden in those days? And it's becoming like a trend.
No, they're gonna tell you it's my body and I can do anything that I want with it. So you know what? We're crazy. We're just crazy. And my fear is I don't really think that there's anything we can do anymore. It's gone bad. Our religious sectors have failed us. The leaders have failed us. Parents have failed. It's a failed system, and it's difficult. You're going to have only remnants, only a few. Have you forgotten that back in the days, to be a virgin, if you're a virgin, people look at you in awe. Now, if you say you're a virgin, who cares? Hello?
No, if you're a single mother, if you're a girl, lady that I don't got to
Baby
marry,
mama.
definitely, you still do photo shoots, all those things going on, everybody still celebrates. And
well, it's a failed system. It's a failed system. I can tell you that outrightly. We may say what we want to say. You'll be surprised. You're going to get just 2 likes for this. If you removed your clothes right now and you wore a woman's panties and you wore a bra right now, you'll be surprised how many thousands will like you, will like that madness, that foolishness. People gravitate towards idiotism. That's just the truth. If you're making sense, they don't want to know. They don't want to talk about it. If you're being stupid, they want to gravitate towards it. And a society where people are delusional, the youth are going to become delusional, and the future is absolutely uncertain for us. Trust me on that.
So you, in other words, you're saying that people reward senselessness.
That's it.
And rebuke anyone sensible. So one of the ways you can also attract people is to be senseless. Now, this particular trend also, Mr. Smith, that you see, I see this post people on Instagram that if you have about 30 posts or 40 posts, and you have like 60,000 followers, then definitely they call themselves influencers. You have this trend of, oh, I'm an influencer. And the only thing that guy is doing on Instagram that made the person an influencer is the person is twerking. And twerking, shaking bum bum all over Instagram has become a trend now. That if you twerk, people will follow you. If you like what we're saying now does not matter. It doesn't concern people.
It doesn't.
It's very, very crazy.
It doesn't.
And it's a major challenge that there's ways that cement rights onto men and becoming the ways of death.
Yeah.
It's so hard to convince a youth that come, if you do this, and you see them attacking in meetings and telling you that come, it's your age, it's old school. What's trending now is this. So how do we want to make people know that it's not old school, it's about principles. When you break principles, you break yourself. You cannot break principles.
You can't.
So how do we convince our current youth that principles will be adhered to and these are eternal? The law of gravity will never change. So how do we tell them that these laws are still potent, even in our days? Because we might grow, we might get things fast. But these things the route we're going will not make us go far. So how do we tell our youth that principles still work?
It's a long journey. It's a big task. It's not something we can do in one day or talk about. But you see, to influence anyone, it's not by what you say outrightly. It's by who you are. And who you are determines what you do. Now, here's what I have done in my own little space. I believe I cannot change the world. I am only responsible for changing myself. And if who I become influences my circle, then fine. I'm not bothering myself about trying to change the world. I cannot change the world, but I can change my own world, become a better person, follow principles. And you see, when you talk about principles, I agree with you totally. Principles don't change. Practices may change depending on the age, but principles don't change. And you see, every time we try to change principles, the structure of the universe is not going to allow us to succeed because we're coming against the alignment of the universe. But then, to put what you said into bullet points, parents need to go back to setting the examples. Our sectors of the society needs to go back to becoming responsible. Each and every one of us, do you understand what I'm saying? Schools need to go back to character formation and not just passing children who failed and say, look, you can't repeat, just keep pushing them. Schools need to stop cheating for WAEC and exams. We need to just go back to the basics. But I doubt we're going to go. I seriously doubt we're going to go. And the reason, is this. Everybody wants to be rich. And being rich is not bad as long as you follow the laws of wealth. But nobody wants to go through the process anymore. If you tell somebody, I've been doing this thing for 15 years, they're going to look at like 15 years, I just want to do it in 15 days and become like you. You see? And so also, well, I don't know if this is going to make sense to you, we need to stop preaching quick success to people, to the youths. When you tell the youth, this year, you're going to ride a car, you're going to build a house, money that you didn't work for is going to land in your account, that is stealing. And the youth hear these messages continuously. So as far as they're concerned, I don't have to work so much. If I wait on God, tomorrow morning, money that I did not work for is going to mistakenly enter into my bank account. That's outright stealing. We're training them. See, we're getting what we are sowing.
So in other words, the church system is not helping us.
At all.
It's not helping us.
At all.
Because we do.
At all.
Sometimes we do anointing service for someone that's not ready. I would say if you believe,
you're going to pass the exams.
You're going to pass the exams. And that person just feels, oh, if I believe, all I need to do is to believe. But no.
Faith without works is dead. So I can kill your faith if I remove work from your life. If you're not working and you have faith, the absence of work will kill your faith. So when you say I'm bringing faith into the system and you're not bringing work alongside, your faith is going to die. And soon enough, they're going to call your faith fake because you didn't come along with work. In the beginning, God created. God was working. The first thing we knew about God was that He was working. Now, God could have snapped and the world was created in 6 days, but He took process, one layer after the other to create. It was laying an example for us, and we cannot break it.
Do you that in our current environment, if we begin to this kind of conversations, all we're talking about is not a popular view.
Yeah.
It's something like it looks like, what's wrong with this guy? What are you talking about? What's that about? But if you look at it, if you speak the truth in church, I feel sometimes it also repels people from coming to church. So most times, one of the ways by which people can have more people come to church is for you not to speak the truth. It's just like human beings gravitate more to places that are not hearing the truth. They go to places. In those days when we were growing up, we like uncles that don't tell us the truth, that harbor us. We hate uncles that want us to do things right. So it still boils down to, and most of my own consolation is majorly in a Bible passage I read a while ago. He said, people stand in the ways and see and ask for the good old path and walk therein. But the Bible said, and the people said in their heart, they won't walk therein. So really, that's final word for me, because no matter how you direct people and tell them the right way to go, the Bible says even when you show them the right way, they will say in their heart, they will not walk therein. If you want to know, you know that Jeremiah 6:16. You can go and read it over and over again. So all these things, we just must keep sharing, because we'll be tired of sharing even when.
But I disagree with you.
Okay.
Like, really disagree with you on a very major aspect. If you go to your doctor right now, your doctor, by his oath, must tell you the truth. It is his professional responsibility not to hide from you and tell you the way it is. Same thing goes for our religious environments. The religious environment has a responsibility to show people the truth and leave them with God to make that decision, but they should never hide the truth. If your lawyer will not hide the truth from you, if your doctor will not hide the truth from you, then your religious leader has a moral obligation to tell you 100% truth and leave you to decide if you're going to take it or you're not going to take it. But to sugarcoat the truth, all in the name of getting more people, is wicked, is an abomination, and it is punishable, I hope so, by God. Because it doesn't make any sense. If I came to you to hear the truth, then why are you lying to me? Everybody in my life is lying to me, then why church? We should burn down those churches if they are lying to us. And you know what's true? Eventually, people are going to find out that you're lying to them. And when they eventually find out, trust is thrown out of the window. Eventually.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Smith Bam, for making it to the studio this morning. I guess we've seen a lot of very different perspectives, and we're looking forward to the next show. And I guess you should watch out on this channel for the next show we're going to be having, and we're going to talk about values and how can we become better human beings. Have a wonderful time, and love you all. Thank you.